Have you ever walked into your own home and felt your shoulders tense up? Perhaps there's a pile of dishes waiting in the sink, mail scattered across the counter, or that basket of laundry you folded 3 days ago still sitting on the couch. You might find yourself thinking, where do I even start? If that sounds familiar, I want you to know something important. You're not alone. Not by a long shot. In my 70-plus years on this earth, I've learned that life has a way of moving faster than we can keep up. Days blend into weeks, and before you know it, that peaceful home you've been dreaming about feels just out of reach. But what if I told you that creating a peaceful home doesn't require a complete overhaul of your life? What if it could begin with just one small habit at a time? Today, I'd like to share some simple wisdom, not complicated checklists or impossible standards, but gentle practices that can transform how you feel in your own four walls. These aren't chores. They're small acts of kindness to yourself. Little whispers that say, you matter. This space matters. You deserve peace right where you are. The beautiful part is that you can start today, exactly as you are, in your own way, and at your own pace. Stay with me until the end, because after I share my 5 favorite habits, I have 2 special bonus practices that many folks tell me have changed not just their homes, but how they move through each day. Let's begin this journey together toward a home that feels like a deep breath, a warm embrace, and a safe place to land. 1. Begin with love. Make your bed. There's something almost magical about how a small beginning can shape an entire day. When you first open your eyes in the morning, you're standing at the threshold of something brand new, a whole day stretching ahead with all its possibilities. It might feel exciting, perhaps a bit overwhelming, but it can also feel grounding, depending on the first choice you make. One of the simplest and most powerful habits I've observed in people with peaceful homes is this: they make their bed. Not because someone's coming to inspect it, not because they're chasing some picture in a fancy magazine, but because it's a gift they give themselves first thing in the morning. Making your bed isn't about creating a hotel-perfect room. It's about sending a message to your own heart. Today I matter. This space matters. I deserve beauty and order, even in the smallest corners of my life. The beauty of this habit is that it only takes a minute or 2. You don't need pressed sheets or military corners. Simply straighten the blankets, fluff the pillows, and smooth everything with your hands. As you do, you're not just tidying a bed, you're setting an intention for your day. You're choosing order over chaos, care over neglect, presence over rushing. Even on days when the laundry piles up or the kitchen counter collects clutter, a made bed anchors your space. It offers a feeling of accomplishment that ripples outward. When you glance into your bedroom later, you'll see that island of peace and feel grounded again. For many of us, especially as we age and move through different seasons of life, these simple routines become lifelines. They're not rigid rules, they're acts of kindness, rituals that remind us who we are and what matters to us. Making your bed is like planting a flag each morning, staking a claim in the territory of your day. No matter what unexpected turns come your way, you began with care, with dignity, and with love. And if you're thinking, but some mornings my arthritis makes it hard, or some days it just doesn't seem worth the effort, that's perfectly human. This isn't about perfection. It's about offering yourself the chance, as often as you can, to start your day with an act of care. Tomorrow morning, before you rush into the needs of the day or the worries of the world, pause for a moment. Take a breath. Straighten those covers. Smooth those pillows. And maybe whisper to yourself, this is for me. Watch how that small, loving act changes how you move through your day. 2. Keep the sink smiling, little by little. The kitchen has long been called the heart of the home, and for good reason. It's where we gather, where we nourish ourselves and those we love, where memories take shape in the aroma of coffee brewing or soup simmering on a cold afternoon. Right at the center of that heart is the kitchen sink. It might seem like a small thing, but the state of your sink can deeply affect how you feel about your entire home. A sink overflowing with dishes brings with it a heavy feeling, a sense that things are slipping out of hand. On the other hand, a clean sink, or even just a managed one, sends a different message entirely. It whispers, we're cared for. We have things under control, even if just a little bit. People with peaceful homes understand this. They don't wait until dishes pile up into a mountain too overwhelming to face. Instead, they tend to the sink little by little, with patience and gentleness. A quick rinse here, a neatly stacked plate there. Even when the day is full and energy runs low, they make small choices that keep chaos from taking root. You don't have to scrub every pot or polish every spoon. The beauty is in the small, manageable steps. If a plate needs rinsing, rinse it. If utensils gather, soak them briefly or stack them neatly. By touching the task gently and often, it never grows into a demanding mess. And something wonderful happens when you practice this. You begin to feel lighter. Your kitchen feels more welcoming. Cooking a meal or making a simple cup of tea feels less like a chore and more like a pleasure. You reclaim your kitchen as a place of nourishment, not burden. There's an emotional benefit too. When you care for your sink, you signal to yourself that you deserve a space that supports you, not one that weighs you down. It becomes less about dishes and more about dignity. Maybe today you're feeling tired or your joints are aching. That's all right. You don't need to tackle everything at once. Just start with the sink. Let it be one bright spot in your home. Wipe it clean, rinse that last cup, and smile at the bit of peace you just created. These small acts, repeated quietly day after day, build something powerful over time. They create a home that nourishes you rather than depletes you. They shape a life where you're not always catching up, but moving gently alongside the rhythm of your days. So the next time you pass by your kitchen, remember, you don't have to conquer it all at once. Just keep the sink smiling, little by little, and you'll feel the difference deep in your heart. 3. Handle it now, not later. There's a quiet kind of freedom that comes from handling things in the moment. People with peaceful homes understand that clutter doesn't appear overnight. It grows slowly, little by little, from the small decisions we postpone. A jacket draped over a chair, reading glasses placed down absent-mindedly, mail dropped on the counter when we come in the door. None of these things are problems by themselves. But together, over time, they create a feeling of overwhelm. They give us the sense that our home is getting away from us, that life is moving faster than we can manage. The simplest way to prevent this is to make a small shift in how we think. Instead of leaving things for later, take a breath and handle them now. When you finish using something, guide it gently back to its home. Hang up the jacket when you walk through the door. Carry the coffee mug back to the kitchen when you finish your newspaper. Place your reading glasses back in their case when you rise from your chair. It sounds simple, and it is, but it's also remarkably powerful. Handling small tasks in the moment keeps clutter from ever truly forming. It removes the weight of a long mental list hanging over you. Instead of looking around and seeing dozens of things you need to get to, you feel a sense of ease. Your home becomes a space that breathes with you, not one that constantly demands your attention. There's another benefit here too. When you live this way, you're not constantly putting your life on hold to clean up. You're flowing with your day, treating your space with the same consideration you'd offer an old friend. Of course, there will be days when your energy is low or when life asks more of you than you can give. That's perfectly natural, especially as we get older. On those days, be gentle with yourself. The goal isn't perfection. It's simply to create a habit of mindfulness so that most days, without even thinking about it, you're choosing peace over postponement. Imagine for a moment a home where most things have a place and most of them are in it. Picture the lightness you would feel, the calm you would carry into each new day. That feeling isn't far away. It starts with one small decision at a time. Next time you finish reading your paper or sipping from your favorite mug, take just one more moment to complete the circle. Over time, these tiny acts will transform not just your home, but your sense of well-being too. 4. Choose what you see. There's a quiet wisdom in understanding that not everything we own needs to be visible all at once. In fact, having too many things on display can create a feeling of busyness and unrest, even when everything is technically in order. People with peaceful homes know this well. They're not necessarily people who own fewer things. They're people who choose carefully what their eyes and hearts encounter each day. When every surface is crowded, every shelf brimming, and every corner filled, it becomes hard to feel at peace. The mind, even without realizing it, begins to process each item. The stack of magazines, the collection of figurines gathering dust, the pile of projects waiting to be finished. The visual noise adds up, and soon, simply sitting in a room feels tiring. Choosing what you allow to remain visible is a powerful act of self-care. It says, I honor my need for peace. This doesn't mean stripping your home of personality or warmth. It means intentionally selecting the items that bring you joy, comfort, or beauty, and letting them breathe. Maybe it's a framed photograph of your grandchildren. Maybe it's a vase of fresh flowers on the kitchen table. Maybe it's that well-loved book beside your favorite chair. When these treasures have space around them, they become more meaningful. They're not lost in a sea of clutter. They stand out, offering gentle reminders of what matters most. One simple way to begin is by asking yourself as you move through each room, does this need to be here? Does this lift my spirit? If the answer is no, consider putting it away, passing it along to someone who might treasure it, or simply letting it go. Give your special possessions the honor they deserve by allowing them to shine without competition. The living room, the kitchen, the bedroom, every space in your home can benefit from this thoughtful approach. A clear kitchen counter can make cooking a pleasure rather than a chore. A bedside table with just a lamp and one beloved book can turn bedtime into a peaceful retreat. There's no need to rush or force anything. This process should be gentle. It's not about achieving some magazine-perfect standard. It's about creating breathing room for your soul. Over time, as you make these quiet choices, you'll notice something remarkable. Your home will feel lighter. Your heart will feel calmer. Your life will feel more truly your own. So take a moment today. Look around with kind eyes and an open heart. Ask yourself what you truly want to see when you walk through your own door. And know that every item you choose to honor, and every item you choose to release, is a step toward a home that welcomes you with open arms. 5. A gentle goodnight to your home. There's a special peace that fills a home in the quiet hours before bedtime. The world outside slows down, the lights dim, and everything begins to soften. It's during these precious moments that people with peaceful homes practice one of the most meaningful habits of all. They take a few minutes to give their home a gentle good night. This little ritual isn't about cleaning the whole house. It's about small acts of care that bring closure to the day. Straightening a pillow on the couch, rinsing a forgotten teacup, turning off a light with a sense of completion. These aren't chores. They're gestures of gratitude for the space that has carried you through another day. By walking through your home with calm hands and a loving heart, you send a quiet message to yourself. I honor the life I live today. I prepare gently for the life I will live tomorrow. When you wake up the next morning, instead of being greeted by yesterday's unfinished business, you step into a space that feels fresh, welcoming, and full of possibility. This small ritual also gives you a chance to slow down and reflect. In a world that moves quickly, it becomes easy to lose track of the little moments. Taking 5 or 10 minutes to tenderly touch your space reminds you to breathe, to notice, to care. You close the day not with chaos, but with calm. It's not about achieving a perfect home. It's about creating a feeling. Even if you only tidy one small corner, that act carries weight. A neatly folded throw blanket, a clean kitchen sink, a table free of clutter. These are invitations to rest, to breathe deeper, to let go of the weight of the day. For many of us, especially as we age and move through different seasons of life, these rhythms become anchors. They offer steadiness when the world feels unpredictable. A home that is cared for, even in small ways, becomes a place of strength and renewal. And this habit is as much for your heart as it is for your home. When you take time each night to gently ready your space for sleep, you're also preparing your mind for rest. You're telling yourself, I am worthy of peace. I am worthy of a soft landing. Tonight before bed, I invite you to try it. Walk slowly through your home. Fluff a pillow. Rinse a cup. Wipe a small spot from the counter. Dim the lights and draw the curtains. Move with love, not with pressure. Move with gratitude, not with urgency. And as you do, notice how your home begins to respond. Notice how you begin to feel lighter, calmer, more rooted. A few small touches, a few quiet minutes, and suddenly your entire evening is wrapped in peace. This habit, repeated with care, will change how you end your days. It will greet you each morning with gentleness. It will remind you that your home is not just a place to live, but a place that lives with you. You deserve that kind of sanctuary. You deserve to wake up to a home that feels like a quiet blessing. And it begins simply and beautifully by saying goodnight with love. Bonus habits for a peaceful home. As we gently close the door on these 5 simple but powerful habits, I hope you're beginning to feel a new sense of possibility for your home and your heart. Sometimes it's not the grand changes that transform our lives. It's the quiet decisions, repeated day after day with care and tenderness, that truly build a sanctuary around us. Before we part ways today, I have something special to share with you, 2 bonus habits. Small treasures that many folks have found bring even more lightness and joy into their everyday lives. These aren't requirements or obligations. They're gentle invitations, soft additions to the rhythm you're already beginning to create. Bonus 1. Create a little basket of blessings. Sometimes it's the smallest spaces in our homes that hold the greatest meaning. Among all the rooms, all the shelves, and all the corners, having just one special place can change how we feel about our entire home. People with peaceful homes often know the power of creating what I like to call a basket of blessings. This isn't a storage bin or a place to catch random clutter. It's a space set aside for only the most heart-lifting items. A handwritten card from a grandchild. A shell collected from a favorite beach trip. A photograph from a day that made you laugh until you cried. A small, thoughtful gift from someone who remembered you with kindness. The beauty of this basket is that it becomes a visible reminder of what matters most. On days when life feels heavy, when worries cloud your thoughts or energy runs low, you have a place you can return to. One glance at the treasures within, and your spirit is gently lifted. Creating this space is simple. Find a small basket, a pretty tray, a special shelf, or even a drawer. Choose carefully what you place there. Each item should carry a story, a smile, a memory of love. This isn't about filling the space quickly. It's about curating it thoughtfully, letting it be a living testament to your life's beauty. Over time, as you move through different seasons, you may add new items and retire others. That's part of the charm. Your basket will grow and change with you, just as you grow and change with the years. It isn't static, it's alive with meaning. This little corner of blessings can also become part of your daily rhythm. You might choose to visit it each morning before you begin your day, or each evening before you rest. Spend a few quiet moments remembering the love, laughter, and light that these items represent. Let them be anchors for your heart, steady points that remind you that goodness and beauty have always been part of your journey. In a world that often moves too fast, having a place that honors stillness, gratitude, and memory is a profound gift. You deserve that gift. You deserve to live in a home where not everything is practical or efficient, but where some spaces exist purely for joy. So today, I invite you to create your own basket of blessings. Even if you begin with just one item, that's enough. One small reminder that you are deeply loved, that your life is full of beautiful moments, and that every day carries new blessings waiting to be noticed. Bonus 2. Let fresh air in every day. There's something deeply renewing about fresh air. It's easy to overlook when we're busy or when the weather isn't perfect, but the simple act of opening a window can transform how a home feels. It can transform how you feel inside your own skin. People with peaceful homes understand this quiet truth. They make a habit of letting fresh air into their homes every day, even if just for a few minutes. It's not about temperature. It's about energy. Still air can make a space feel heavy and lifeless. A gentle breeze flowing through the room brings a sense of movement, renewal, and hope. When you open a window, even slightly, you invite change into your home. You allow yesterday's worries, yesterday's frustrations, yesterday's tiredness to float out into the open sky. You welcome in the breath of today, the newness of this moment, the endless possibilities that come with each sunrise. You don't need to throw open every window wide. One small opening is enough. A little crack that lets the air stir the curtains, that lets the room sigh with relief. That little gesture tells your home, and tells your own heart, that life is meant to flow, not to stay stuck. Fresh air is a healer. It clears more than just dust. It clears emotional heaviness. It invites clarity of thought, lightness of spirit, and sometimes even new inspiration. It's such a small thing, and yet it can have such a profound impact. Tomorrow morning, perhaps after you pour your first cup of coffee or tea, open a window nearby. Breathe in deeply. Notice how the air smells different. Notice how the sounds of the outside world gently filter into your space. Maybe it's the song of a robin, the rustling of leaves, or simply the soft whisper of the breeze. These small sensory moments reconnect you to something bigger than the walls of your home. They remind you that you're part of a living, breathing world full of life and movement and hope. Letting fresh air into your home every day is a way of saying yes to change, yes to growth, and yes to new beginnings. And just like the other habits we've shared, it doesn't require perfection. It only requires a willingness to open, to breathe, and to welcome life in. You deserve a home that feels alive with possibility. You deserve a heart that feels refreshed and light. And sometimes all it takes is the simple, beautiful act of opening a window and letting the new day find you. A final word. And now, my friend, as we reach the end of our time together today, I hope you feel a little more encouraged, a little more inspired, and most of all, a little more at peace. Your home doesn't have to be a place of perfection. It doesn't have to be a place where everything is always done exactly right. Your home can be a place where love lingers in every corner, where small acts of care build into great feelings of peace, where the gentle rhythms you create each day nourish not just the space you live in, but the very heart that carries you through each season of life. You don't have to do it all at once. You don't have to do it perfectly. You only have to begin. Maybe with making your bed in the morning. Maybe with keeping the sink smiling. Maybe by opening a window and letting the fresh air remind you that every day brings a new chance to breathe and to begin again. Which one small habit will you choose to start with? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Please share with me in the comments below. Tell me which habit spoke to your heart today, or if you have a special practice of your own that brings more peace and joy into your home. I invite you to share it with this wonderful community. Your story might be just what someone else needs to hear. And if you found comfort here today, I warmly invite you to subscribe to the channel and join us as we continue to explore ways to create homes and lives filled with more clarity, more kindness, and more ease. Until next time, remember, you're doing better than you think. Your efforts matter, and every gentle step you take brings you closer to a home and a life that feels just right for you. Take a deep breath. Smile softly. You're on your way.